If you've been selling on Amazon for a while, the number one saying is that never go out of stock on Amazon. But guess what is the number one rule in business overall? And that is to never run out of cash. As we all know, selling on Amazon is a cash-intensive endeavor. Having the cash at the right time allows you to continue your upward momentum, while running out of cash can mean destroying your Amazon business. In this video, I'm going to open up the curtains to the financial side of selling on Amazon and show you how to forecast your cash needs for the next 60 days. So if you really want to truly know how to scale on Amazon from a 7-figure seller, stay tuned. I'm Rick Wong, an Amazon seller and founder of SellerMetrics, an Amazon marketing agency. And if you are interested in content such as this one, where we talk about the latest Amazon FBA news, tips, and hacks, I invite you to subscribe. Okay, so as we all know, cash is a very important need for Amazon seller, and purchasing the inventory and selling it is a very cash-intensive type of business. So I just want to reiterate why is cash flow so important for Amazon seller. As we mentioned, number one, inventory, right? So your Amazon sale is basically 100% leverage to the fact that you have inventory to sell. Not having inventory means that you have no sales and basically no profits to basically continue your business. So number one importance of your cash needs is to be able to purchase your inventory. Number two, payroll, making payroll. So if you actually scale to your 7 figures, I assume that you have employees and you basically cannot pay your employees with profits, but you need to pay them with cash, right? So another important cash need is to fulfill your payroll. The number 3 bucket is your operating expenses. That could be, your 3PL costs, your marketing, advertising on and off Amazon, and also maybe paying for shipping, right? And those are like operating expenses. So key expenses that needs to pay out to continue operating your Amazon business. So that's the 3rd bucket of why you need cash for as an Amazon seller. I also want to reiterate that cash does not equal to the profit and sales, right? The profit and sales are not cash. Profit and sales are earned, but earning it does not mean that you'll get it as a cash payout right away. A good example of that is that you see the sales on Amazon, but you know that you're not going to get payout from those sales until like 14 days later. And a lot of times, as we just reiterated, that there is like a time lag between you actually earn the money to the payout itself, right? And this is like very much a temporal issue. And if during that time period, say like the 14 days between you earn the money to actual payout from Amazon, you actually need money during that 14 days, then that is what we call a cash crunch. And this issue comes up a lot for Amazon sellers when they grow very fast on a month-to-month basis. So for Amazon sellers, they would see this a lot often than other businesses that are not cash intensive. An example, my agency, right? So the thing is that we don't need to pay for inventory on a timely basis because inventory is basically the most cash consuming part of any Amazon business. So Amazon business will get the cash crunch issue a lot potentially. But the key thing is that not to avoid it, but to stay in front of it. So how to actually avoid a cash crunch? So how do we actually get the cash that we need when we need it, right? First, you need to do like a proper forecasting. So you need to forecast mainly 3 parts, right? So that is the cash that you currently have in hand, the cash inflow, and the future cash outflows, right? And this type of analysis of forecasting the cash inflow outflows is called a cash flow forecast. And it's basically the best way for Amazon sellers to avoid a cash crunch. Basically not getting the cash when you need it. So you can see this this image right here. It's just a spreadsheet that I use for my Amazon business to predict any future cash crunch. So you can see the cash inflows basically on the top and also the cash outflows on the bottom. And I would forecast out the spreadsheet for the next 60 days. So I have the actual spreadsheet on hand with me right here, and I'll show you how it works, and maybe you could actually change it a little bit for your business to kind of help you forecast your own cash needs. Okay, so basically there's 2 parts of the spreadsheet. There's just the input parts. So basically you need to input some important information, and then also the actual report part, right? The actual input parts for more or less, you're gonna input the date you want to start the reporting, and then the cash receipts that you get from Amazon. So what we'll do is that for every single one of your accounts or marketplaces, you're gonna input your cash receipts, most recent cash receipts. So for my US business, my US Amazon business, I recently received $36K right? For beginning days around like 4K, my Amazon UK account around 4K as well in Great British Pounds. And for my Japan account, I received around 642,000 in yen, Japanese yen, right? And then once you convert that, you can convert it back to USD. And if you actually, copy up this template, I have these like set formulas here to actually get the real-time rates of the different currencies. And then the next very important part is to actually document down your cash on hand. So let's just say my Wells Fargo account currently have around like 8K. My PayPal around my Wise/my PayPal account has like around $1,700 total. I have like $9,900 on hand, right? And that information would go to my cash flow forecast spreadsheet. The cash flow forecast spreadsheet, basically it's like terms of the columns, right? I forecast out the next 60 days, right? So my beginning day is May 5th, and my cash balance is to start is basically right here, right? Basically, I link the cash balance to start to this amount right here. It's a matter of forecasting in your cash inflow, which is the money that comes in from your Amazon account, and your cash outflow, the money that you pay out for your employees, services, your inventory, etc. Right? And you can see that the inflow, I kind of put the inflow right to match the payout schedule for each of my Amazon accounts, right? So you will basically do the same. If you were to use the spreadsheet, for your Amazon account, you'll probably have your own settlement schedule. So you're basically going to change the cash flow here to whatever your cash flow schedule is on your Amazon account. And then next thing is you're going to add your cash outflow. So, it could be credit card payments. So if you make your credit card payments once every month, if your credit card payment schedule is the middle of the month, then you maybe going to put that outflow on the middle of the month here. For me, it's like a beginning of the month. And then your salary and wages, whatever your cash outflow for salary and wages for the next 60 days, you can forecast it out and add it into the spreadsheet. And then the loan repayments. For me, I use like a revenue finance company. So basically, I would pay out the 20% of all my inflows to the loan repayment company, right? So that's basically be 20% times whatever my inflow, and that is my outflow for my loans. And then the 3PL cost, so that's a monthly 3PL cost, around maybe 3K. So whatever your 3PL cost is, you're gonna add it into the spreadsheet wherever that you make your monthly payment. Same thing with shipping. And then the invoices. So invoices, let's just say you make this payment invoices. So you make maybe 20% upfront. And then when the product is finished, you make the 80% remaining. And basically for the payment remaining, you could basically just estimate out when you're gonna pay it, right? It will take a while for you to set up, but a very important type of analysis to kind of forecast out when you actually need the cash to pay for these inventories, right? And how the actual spreadsheet is calculated is that it's just gonna take your daily cash on hand, and then it's going to use that cash on hand for the next day, and then it'll calculate the inflow and outflow. So in this case, so you see cash inflow, right? So the beginning cash balance, cash inflow, cash outflow, right? So the final amount is your beginning balance plus your cash inflow, which is this one right here, minus out your outflow here, right? And then you're going to forecast it out all the way for the next 60 days. And how do you actually find out in the spreadsheet that you might have some potential cash runs? So that is quite simple. You are going to look into the specific dates where you can see that you would have a negative cash balance amount. So in my spreadsheet, it seems like around the beginning of June, I might have potential cash crunch needs, right? That is because the day previous, right, I would need to make a large payment to my suppliers to make an inventory purchase of 47K. If that's the case, you're looking at this, that's probably around a week before June. You probably need to maybe go to a financing company or look into your savings or find ways to cover that cash shortage. So your cash shortage is around maybe 16K. So maybe you need to look into getting a 20K amount from your savings from a financing company, or from your line of credit. So I'll talk about ways where you could actually cover this cash shortage a bit later. And if you actually are interested in using this template for your cash flow analysis, I will link it to the bottom. And if there's any questions about this particular spreadsheet, feel free to message me on the actual link below to my LinkedIn account. Let's just say you've actually figured out how much cash do you need and when you need it. What are my options to kind of cover this like cash shortfall? Number one option is probably savings, right? If you have the savings, right? Let's just say you have like 20K of savings lying around, right? That is probably the easiest, cheapest to access. The cons to that is that it will be hard to replace. If you somehow lose that, basically your savings for household needs, let's just say you have a family, basically you can personally go broke immediately, right? If you run into like a personal liquidity situation if you do this, right? If something goes wrong. The second option is a line of credit. Basically you could use your personal line of credit. So not as costly as your savings. It's also very easy to access. Cons, it's higher cost than savings, but it's probably not that costly in terms of other financing options, because a lot of times you have a collateral against that personal line of credit, like your apartment or home, and that is like also a con as well for using this using the personal line of credit, because if you actually use the personal line of credit, more or less you're putting your collateral at risk, and if you actually can't pay it back, the bank could own your collateral, which is your home or your apartment. The last option is external debt, and this is an option I feel like a lot of 7-figure, 8-figure Amazon sellers will actually go to, right? I think the key pro to this is that this is highly scalable, right? As you grow, you can actually take a higher and higher amount of financing to basically continue to grow and finance your business. For example, your personal line of credit, your saving is capped at a certain amount, right? So you might not have like 20K in a personal line of credit to be able to access, but external financing companies is able to cover that. And then let's just say you grow 100% next month and you actually need to get like say 40%, $40,000 in cash, they can actually do that for you. So the cons of that is obviously is high interest. A lot of them incur at least 10% of APR, at least. I think 10% for these type of company would be on the low side. I think nowadays with the high interest economy, I think it will be at least maybe around 14 to 15%. So it's a lot costlier now. An example for these seller financing companies, the ones that I've used personally is Seller Funding and also AccrueMe. And I've linked those institutions for seller financing below as well. So you can check that out. In conclusion, Amazon sellers should always be estimated their cash flow needs. It might sound cliche, but cash is literally the rocket fuel that supports the growth of your Amazon business. To avoid a cash crunch, you should not be afraid to use one of these external debt and start reaching out to these financial company at the right moment when you need it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're an Amazon seller and want to grow your business via Amazon advertising, please schedule a call with me in the link below. And until the next video drop, happy selling.